Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate the website Storybird for you today. So this is a site that I discovered working on our digital storytelling project, and I thought that it was really creative and artistic and could have a lot of potential in the classroom, especially for creative writing assignments or something like that in class. So the cool thing about this site is that it allows you to combine your written work with artwork. So you could either start with a pre-existing writing sample that you have and choose some art to go along with it, or you could start with art and write a story based on the artwork that you've selected. So I'm going to show you some of the features of this site. We're going to go through how you can make your own story. So I'm over here at the top with the Create tab, and on this page it's going to show you all of the artwork that Storybird has. And this is just a small glimpse, but there's a huge amount of art that's been created. Individual artists from all over submit their art to this site and allow it to be accessible to the authors on Storybird, which is you. So you can see there's all kinds of different art. They're really beautiful and very artistic. Lots of creative options here. So I have the name of a piece that I want to include in my story sample today. So I'm going to search it up at the top over here. And so we can click and look at this in a little bit more detail. And so if I come down here, I can see that there's a whole series that's been created by this artist. So if I come and I click View All, we can see all of these different images that she's shared with Storybird. So if I decide this is the art that I want to use, I can come over here and say, use this art. And it's going to ask me what kind of writing I'm doing, if I want to do a long form book, a picture book, or a poem. So for our purposes today, I'm going to use the picture book. And it's going to direct me over here to our workspace. So there are a couple of little instructional bubbles that pop up here to help you out, showing where you can drag your art, and then they have the text boxes for where your writing can go. So I'm going to show, let's find an image here that we want to use. And depending on where you drag the image, you can have the text box at the bottom, maybe over to the right side so I can still move it around. Then it moves my text box over to the right. You can move it over this way and have it take up less space on your page, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to bring it up over here. And then I'm going to put a little writing in here. And then if I come down to the bottom of my page, there are going to be little icons that show how many pages I've added to my story. And then if we come over here and click cover, it's going to let us choose our cover style. So let's say we want to do a landscape, and it's taken an image and put it up here, and then we can come up with a title for our story. So this would be like the cover of your book. And you can change the colors behind your text here if you wanted to customize it a little bit more. So once we're done with that, you come over to this folder looking arrow. And if you want to add more pages to your story, you can come over and click this plus button, and it'll give you a new blank page. And then you can once again add an image and decide where you want it to go. So if you want to pick a different image, you can do that as well and drag it over, whatever you'd like to do. And once again, depending on where you drag your image, it moves where the text box will be. So we can add another line. So I think this is a really beautiful way of incorporating art into some of creative writing. I just thought that it had a lot of really cool features that I think would be really interesting to use in a classroom. So once you're done with your story, let's say that we're all finished here, we're going to come down to Save and Exit. And you have your choice of how you want to save it. You can decide it's not finished yet, you want to come back in and work on it later, or if you're ready to publish it, even though you can still make edits after the fact, we can say that we're ready to publish it privately or publicly, depending on what you want to do. And then you can put it into a certain type of folder. So I have a digital storytelling folder I've been working with. I'm going to put that in there and say publish. And then it's going to put it into my personal workspace over here. So if I come back up to my stuff, we'll see that my book has been added into here. So that's pretty much the overview of Storybird.